Welcome back to the show, everyone. Well, the condo market is not really showing any signs of abating, maybe slowing down a little bit, but price is still climbing. You want to get the most when you're selling, and you want to get the best deal when you're buying.
Absolutely, and there's little tips and tricks on how to do exactly that. And we are joined now by Leo Wilk, who's also known as Condo Leo.
Hey, Leo, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Nice to see you.
Good. So the new year, lots of places getting listed. It's the time a lot of people are looking to buy, a lot of people are selling. So we're going to go through some tips about buying and selling. What is your biggest tip for people when it comes to buying or selling?
Some tips for selling. The first thing any realtor is going to tell you is get pre-approved. There's no commitment to that, so people they kind of get scared when they're getting pre-approved. They think they're locked into something. You're actually not there. There's two big benefits of getting pre-approved first. Number one is you know what you can afford. So if you've gone out and you started looking at $400,000 condos, next thing you know, you get pre-approved for $350.
You wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, you wasted your time, and now you've looked at these bigger places, better locations. Maybe now you've kind of took a step back. It's gonna affect your decision. Yeah.
Well, yeah, whether you even want to proceed or not.
Exactly. And the second benefit is you can lock in your rates. So typically about 120 days, you can keep those rates. So if rates go up, you're protected. If rates go down, you can still get the newer, lower rates.
Yeah.
So people are always scared because they think there's commitment. There's actually no commitment to it. It just protects you as a buyer from rates going up.
I've talked to people and had to disabuse them of the idea that when they locked in or they signed up, that meant that they were paying their mortgage right away. But
yeah.
You don't until you make the commitment to actually buy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, and whether you're buying or selling, you always recommend to go local when it comes to realtors. Why do you recommend that?
Well, local realtors, it's you know the area. Like for me, I do downtown, so I specialize in downtown. I know the buildings, I know everything around the area, I know the amenities. If I don't know something about the building, I can text or one of my friends who's a realtor and they can give me the information right away.
Right.
If I'm trying to help you find a place in Langley, I don't know anything about the area, so I would never do
Right.
that.
So what if you are looking at a different, say you live downtown now and you want to move out to Surrey or Burnaby or Richmond or something, how do you handle that? Do you just sort of look up? Or?
Typically, I have someone I work with in every different area, and it's people that we trust, so we always refer. We still kind of work hand in hand with the realtor to make sure everything's going smoothly, but we just kind of we're saying, I'm going to refer you to so-and-so because they really know this area, they've done a great job, they've done business with us before, and it's going to be nice.
And knowing your costs is a big one because a lot of people get surprised. They find the place in their budget and then everything's closing and all these weird things are happening and there's extra costs at the end. How do you prepare people for that?
Well, every transaction is different. It could be the difference of $10,000 each time, so there's not really a range you can look at, but once I know your price that you're looking for and where you're looking for, we can typically break down what you're going to be paying, and we'll start getting you the lawyer's numbers, the closing costs, all those types of things. It's a huge gap between if you're a first-time home buyer, you might not have to pay property transfer tax, things like that. So there's a lot of different variables that come in.
So how important, all this sort of leads to that idea that when you find a realtor, or when you're looking for a realtor, that ability to communicate, that ability to be able to have a good conversation with your realtor.
Exactly. It's as a buyer or even a seller, don't be scared to tell your realtor what you're thinking. If the place that you just saw was terrible, let me know, and let me know why, so that we're never going to look at one of those again. That's our job, I always like to say, I can walk into a condo after a couple tours with a buyer, and I know if they're going to want it or not right away, because it's one of those things you should get on that relationship with them. And if we're showing you all these places that are nothing what you're looking for, you didn't like it, just tell us and we'll never look at that again.
And of course, when you look on the MLS, you can see pictures of a lot of places. And anybody who's gone to look at an apartment or a home, sometimes it is just shocking what people, the state they leave their home in. And we've got some pictures that you freshly pulled off the MLS. Maybe you can tell us what we're looking at here, Leo. Our first picture is just a mess.
So these are selling tips we're going to now, if you're selling.
If you're selling, the actual condo itself looks in good shape. It's just they decided to take pictures before cleaning it up.
Why would they not pick up their clothes?
You know what the really scary thing is? This may be cleaned up. This might be as clean as they get.
Typically in Vancouver, there is a lot of rented condos, so this is maybe a problem that they're faced with. But at the end of the day, you should have a professional cleaner come in at least when you list your condo the first time.
Right.
Because you're going to be busy for the first 2 weeks. People are going to come, you're going to have a couple open houses. At least get it professionally cleaned once so it doesn't, even look at those photos online.
It's so funny that, there's so much money at stake here. The fact that somebody wouldn't even bother to try and make it look good is shocking.
Spend a couple of $100 to get a cleaner.
And decluttering is a big one. And kitchens really are a huge part of what people look for in a home, whether it's a small home or a large one. And decluttering is really simple.
Decluttering is the easiest thing you can do. It's the most cost-efficient one. Kitchens are actually the #1 influence on someone's purchase.
Number one.
I was going to ask how much of a difference it made with the kitchen.
#1 is kitchen, #2 is bathroom. And there's easy tips to declutter and stage them, so to speak, without paying someone. You just obviously clean inside your oven, clean your fridge, organize your fridge, things like that. Buy matching towels, some fresh scented soaps, or little things like that. And even throughout the whole house, you can do that.
Yeah,
like,
and just take everything off the counter so people can actually see what they're buying.
Exactly. Get rid of things like even in the whole house. Get rid of your personal photos or used soap or toothbrushes. Just hide everything you can.
Yeah.
People want to see themselves in there, not you.
Yeah.
Well, and appliances in the kitchen as well. I remember when we were looking at homes, we went into one and they had this natty old toaster and microwave, and it was a beautiful kitchen, but it just
affects it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's
everyone's
really
going to open your oven and everyone's going to open your fridge.
And like you say, you don't have to hire a professional stager. It's just really, really simple stuff. And let's move on to the entranceway. Of course, we've talked about the kitchen, we've talked about the bathroom, but the entrance is really the first thing that people see.
Yeah, so the entrance typically in condos, I mean, there's small hallways. You want to light them up, so make sure there's some, if your lights are dim, get some stronger ones. Put a plant or some fresh flowers. I actually recommend fresh flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
But put a plant there. If you have room, get an ottoman so they can sit down, take their shoes off. A quick tip when selling or when buying too is get some shoes that are slip-on and off, so when you're going in all
So
these
you don't
houses-
have to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, so
especially if you don't like it, so you get booted out of there.
Exactly, so that's just a little tip. But yeah, especially the entrance. It's the first impression you're going to make. Try to make it a good one.
You mentioned lighting in the entrance and the hallway, but would that carry through to the whole place?
Lighting is super important everywhere. If you have dim lights in the bathroom, get some stronger ones in, maybe some candles, something like that. It's always, lighting is probably one of the main things people look at. Go to any show home, and you're just going to see lamps everywhere because they want to make it feel
And
it
it's a
feels
first
bigger.
impression thing for a buyer too. If they walk in, they can't see it, they might just walk right back out.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't get deep.
Okay, selling your rented condo. I mean, we looked at some photos that are likely probably rentals,
Yes.
but what advice do you have to people who are selling something that's rented?
So the three main things I say when selling your rented condo is, for one, make it available to view. When you have tenants, they sometimes put huge time constraints on it. Just have your realtor go there, introduce themselves, buy them a Starbucks card, and just kind of get off on the right foot. And just also talk to them about the number two is, please don't be there when I'm showing the home. You can talk to any retailer. Like in Vancouver, there's tons of rented homes, obviously. Anyone who's gone into showrooms like, yeah, we walk in and someone's cooking or someone's sleeping, and you just don't want
awkward.
You walk right out.
Yeah, so it's really up to the realtor to establish that relationship with the tenants and say, here's $20 gift card, just please go grab a Starbucks on me or wherever you want to go.
And give them a time frame so they can arrange
that cleanliness idea as well. Is it a good idea to put that into a rental agreement when you're sort of initially renting your place out, with the view that when you come to sell, you're going to be able to get in there and have someone clean?
You could put that in the rental agreement. Typically, what I've been taught is from a lot of realtors is get that in the agreement when you write the contract to list the home. So at least have the seller or the realtor, whoever wants to do it, pay for a cleaning. For a condo, it's going to be $100, $150, something like that. But it goes a long way, especially again for the first 2 weeks that you list it. You're going to have a lot of traffic in there. There's going to be probably a couple open houses on the first 2 weekends. So make it look as good as you can. And the tenants will appreciate it as well if you clean it. So
and we touched on the photos, but you can get professionals in to do your photos for the listings as well, and it's not very expensive.
It's not expensive at all. Typically, it's $100. If your realtor is not offering that service and they're doing the camera phone service, then I would talk to them about making that investment and getting some pictures done, because they go a long way and they'll drive a ton of traffic.
Well, and we saw that one that was it's a really dark photo, and it just doesn't, you can see that it's a nice place, but it doesn't really...
That's not going to make me want to go see that home.
No.
I see a very big blob of furniture.
And that home's probably going for at least, I think that was about $450,000.
Yeah.
So you want to get in there.
When it's weather like this outside, all people want to see is light.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Leo. You can go to Leo's website to find out more information if you're looking for real estate in Vancouver.
Very nice.
Nobody ever does that.
Nobody talks about real estate. Nobody ever looks for it. We're going to take a break.